Good morning, good morning. It's Shelby Forsythia, Intuitive Grief Guide, here with you on this beautiful Chicago Wednesday. It is gross and rainy out, which is some of my absolute favorite weather. A lot of people make fun of me because I moved to Chicago for the weather, but I absolutely love it, and today is just a beautiful representation of that. I am singing this morning, and I am so incredibly excited because I have big news to share with you. It's been a long time in the making, and I'm really proud of it, and so I'm just really excited to share with you guys that today I am releasing my very first online course. Yay! This course is based around a question that I get asked all the time, which is, how do I listen to other people's stories or other people's pain without getting sucked in? A lot of people assume that because I do grief work, I must be weighed down all the time, or that I'm super affected by the stories that people tell me. But because I have these tools at my disposal, I don't get sucked into people's sadness, and I'm able to continue hearing and helping the people that need me most. And that's what I want for you, which is why I created the course. This is literally my most frequently asked question, and so I'm just really excited to be able to provide some answers and some clarity to you, especially in a time like now where there's a lot of upheaval kind of going on, where we see pain everywhere. It doesn't just come from our friends and our family, which is bad enough, but it comes from the world around us, and it literally shows up in our hands in the form of our phones or news apps or our Facebook feeds or our Twitter feeds, or however you receive your news. So have you ever felt drained after watching or hearing about the news? Have you ever gone to bed irritated or sad or worn out by the things that show up in your Facebook feed? Have you ever been exhausted or had your mood shifted by a friend who shared a painful story with you or some painful news they just got? Of course you have, because this problem and this pain is everywhere. But the problem is that we're taught to believe that the only place to put pain is on other people. So people come to us and they say, I need to vent, or I need to rant, or I just need to get this all out. And we see that as an invitation to be emotionally spent on their behalf. And that's the price of admission for being a human on this planet, is anytime you're presented with pain, you have to take it on as your own. But what we really should be doing, and what this course teaches, is a reframing of how we hear those phrases and how we see the pain that's presented to us. Pain is not a call to step in as a punching bag for somebody, or as a dumping ground, or as this trash can for somebody to just put all of their crap on. Pain is a call for us to create space for it to go. And that's exactly what the course teaches. This is literally my most frequently asked question. When I tell people I'm a grief guide, a lot of people, when I first meet them, they get the gist of what a grief guide is, but their big hang up is, how on earth do you sit with pain all the time? There's a perception that I'm like a special type of person because I can sit with pain and just be exposed to it and not have it come into my space. But I'm not. I have these tools available to me, and these are tools that exist in the world, but the way I have created them is very, very unique to the work that I do and to listening to the pain of other people. And society doesn't teach us how to respond to pain any differently, which is why I created these. Society doesn't teach us what to do with grief or pain when we see it, and because we don't know what to do with it, it kind of just washes over us and overwhelms us until our mood is shifted for the rest of the day or the rest of the week. Right now, in a lot of our lives, pain has the power. So we are a passive force for pain to just kind of come into or come over. And just reading something or seeing something or hearing something that carries enough weight to put our emotions into a tailspin where we're stuck in this mentality for the rest of the day or the rest of the week or the rest of the month or even for an entire season. Things can bring us down. So this course is a way to reframe and to refocus your energy so you can see the person and you can see the humanity that's on the other side of the pain that's being presented to you. So you can see the story that's inside of the news headline. So you can center enough to know how you can best be of service, not shut down or become emotionally disabled for the rest of the day. This is true power. So the course is super inexpensive. It's very, very rare for people in a grief sphere or even in an online coaching sphere to offer things at this price point. But this course is $37 for 3 separate lessons. The first lesson is called Reframing Pain, and that's just a deep dive look at you and your relationship with pain and what things come up for you in your own story. The second one is Shielding Yourself from the Pain of Others, and this is actually a tool that I use in some of my live events that I'm really excited to share out to a wider audience about discarding what you don't want and bringing in what you do, and that actually creates an energetic shield that lets the universe know what you want to allow in and out of your space. And then the last one is my all-time favorite tool. This is the secret of the grief recovery specialist, of the grief intuitive. It's called Creating a Space for Pain, and this is a place to put pain when it normally washes over us. So we're actually creating a vessel and a space to put it, and I do a little walkthrough of that tool as well. But these are literally all of the tools that I use every single time I sit down with somebody to hear their pain and hear their grief story. So some of these lessons will have workshops, some of these worksheets, some of them will have videos. All of them are incredibly useful, so you can take and choose which ones work for you. You can take the whole thing as a unit, you can share it with friends and things like that. You can do it in a group of other people. No joke, these tools have changed my life. They have changed the way I do business. They have changed the way that I even see people. Like I'll be riding the bus, I'll be going to the grocery store, I'll be, just out and about walking the streets of Chicago, and I see people and I see news events and I see my Facebook app and I see, breaking headlines differently now because of these tools. And I'm more in a space where I feel protected and I feel safe in the world still. And the people I'm talking to continue to feel heard and continue to feel seen, almost even more so than if I got sucked in by my own pain story. So I want to know, when is the last time that you were sucked in by a pain story? When was the last time you felt literally overwhelmed with sadness for a friend or for a family member? When was the last time that you went to bed with despair for the state of the world? I'm not going to teach you how to avoid pain, because that's ridiculous. Pain is an inevitable part of life, and as a grief recovery specialist, as a grief guide, I understand that there is absolutely no way that we're getting out of this world, getting out of this lifetime without encountering pain in some form, whether that's pain that we experience, pain that is brought to us by something else or an external force. Pain is just going to come up. But it's possible to do something with pain, and society doesn't teach us that. Society teaches us that pain is just an inevitable fact of life and that there's nothing you can do about it. But I'm teaching that pain is an inevitable fact of life and there's something you can do about it. So we can do something with the pain that we're exposed to, and that's what I'm teaching in this course. So I absolutely freaking hope that you will join me. I know that these tools, even just exposure to them, even if you don't put them into daily practice, although it's better if you do, even if you don't put them into daily practice, just exposure to these tools and exposure to these ideas will shift the way that you see pain in your life. It will shift the way you see other people who come to you with painful information, and it might even shift the way that you interact with your own pain story. And all of these things are very, very valuable, because at a time like this in our world where pain is so prevalent and people tend to dwell on how bad things are, this is a way not to dismiss how bad things are, but to put them in perspective. And perspective is a valuable, valuable tool right now. Intangible, but extremely, extremely valuable. So that is my exciting news for the day, and I'm so excited to have shared all of this with you. As always, if you have questions for me, you can drop me a message on this Facebook page, which is Shelby Forsythia Intuitive Grief Guide. You can also shoot me an email at shelby@shelbyforsythia.com. Otherwise, I will see your name and your email in my beautiful, newly released online course, and I look forward to your feedback. Let me know what you think of it after you take it. Let me know how it's helped you. Tell me your stories of success with using it, or if you have any hang-ups with it, and maybe that's something we can work through together. As always, on this Wednesday morning, I am so excited, so grateful, and so honored to have shared space with you. I will see you next week.